God.
So then when did your first child come along?
Your first child.
So, wait a minute.
Jerry.
We were trying, and her mother was getting mad because she's now almost 5 years, and you don't have a kid yet.
Everybody. What's the matter? Aren't you gonna have
So
kids?
so I told her let's go to
What's
the
matter?
doctor.
You're gonna be that selfish.
So and the doctor told her she got something wrong, and we're going to fix it.
Yeah, my
And,
kids
and,
were
and
blocked.
now she's fighting me every morning. Oh, she's testing herself with the thermometer.
Time.
Hey, time. I'm not ready. And we did this
Oh God.
for a year or so, and then Jerry came along.
After I went to the hospital and got untied.
Yeah, she had to be fixed.
Had a problem.
She had a problem.
So Jerry came. What year was Jerry born?
53. February 17th, isn't it?
And then David came like a year later.
No, another 5 years.
Another 5 years.
And the same problem. She had the problem.
I had to go to the hospital.
And she had to go in the hospital again.
I had to go and have a lump.
And now, okay, so Jerry came. 5 years later, David came.
David came in 1957.
50,
So 1957.
Yeah.
So it's 1957. Were you
In
still working?
November 2nd.
yeah.
November 2nd.
And you were still working at the rubber plant,
No, we were at the mill,
the rubber mill, the U.S. Rubber.
in U.S. Rubber.
So you were working at U.S. Rubber full time in 1957. You weren't doing carpentry yet.
No. Yeah, I was doing it after work.
After work. So you had.
And weekends. Every weekend we went and nail floors. Boy, did I learn how to nail floors.
Hand nail floors.
Every Saturday and Sunday we went and nail floors.
Putting down oak floors.
Oak floors. How many times I smashed my thumb?
What happened?
So then, I know you eventually came. You eventually came to California. So.
Not one more kid to go.
Oh, so yeah, Robert was born in Rhode Island?
Yeah.
No, Rhode Island, yeah, in 61.
Okay, Robert was born in 61 in Rhode
But
Island.
at that time you were doing full-time carpentry, Jerry.
Yeah, I was already out of there, and no, I wasn't. Not full time yet, because when I came to California, I had to tell my boss
Yeah.
that I was leaving. I'm going to go on vacation in California, and I might be a month late. He says, "Okay, stay as long as you want, and when you come back, you have your job."
So what made you want to even go to California?
Well, when I was in the service, I went to California on a visit, and I liked it so much. I told her when we got married. I said we're going to California, but I don't. I said when my parents pass away,
That's what he told me.
I'm gonna go to California. But in the meantime, my brother was already in California.
Which
My
brother?
brother Matt.
I thought you built a house for him.
No,
No, Tony.
Oh, you built a house for Uncle Tony. Okay.
Not for Matt. And Matt was married to Doris. She's passed away.
Yeah.
But he was married to Doris, and I called him up and he said, "Come on down." He said, "You can stay with me for a while and until you find something to." I said, "Okay." So I had a business already to build houses and remodel houses
In Rhode Island.
in Rhode Island. And I had 2 of them going before I left too.
So you left with 2 houses being built.
Yeah, but I got Johnny and Rocky
To finish.
to finish them.
So that's Mom's brothers.
Yeah, Mel. Johnny, his wife just died.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and so I came to California, and we got here in December sometime, just before Christmas. And my brother said, "Come in Palos Verdes, they had an office, and he wanted me to go there and fill out forms and everything, and he was going to help me get a job. So I got the job. Now it's Christmas time.
Nobody works.
Nobody works, so I couldn't stop working.
And here I am.
So
Done. No money.
so I had to wait until
Broke.
until January 1,
3-month-old baby.
Okay.
right after New Year's. Then I went to work.
I really could've killed him.
So January you started working and you're still living with Uncle Tony.
I went to work.
Oh yeah, so what's Mom doing during all this time?
Well, she's home sewing.
Shit. Sewing your ass.
She's mad that I left.
Believe me, if I had money, I would have said, you stay there, I'll stay here. Forget you, buddy.
No, you wouldn't.
Kids.
So I started going, and then from one job up in Palos Verdes, which I liked very much, with no hard work or nothing. So I went to work in
Comfort.
Hawthorne, building, working on planes and things.
Okay.
But I was working on building petitions for offices.
Okay.
That's what I was doing
And that was at Northrop.
at Northrop. And I did that for 2 years.
So you're working 2 jobs then? Or just,
Well, more or less, I was working 2 jobs. But when I was living with my brother and Chris came, my sister-in-law didn't want her to stay in her house.
At all.
But I rented an apartment. I went to the bank, not to the bank, to the loan company, finance loan company, and I told them I need $500. No.
8.
Well, I needed some money. Says, okay. Says, where do you live? Where'd you go? And all that information he wanted. And he said, I have to check your background. So I was over there and he's going to check my background, and he said, come back tomorrow and I'll give you the money. So I went back and I said, you check my background? He said, no. How much you need? And he gave it to me. So that's when Chris came, and we moved into this. Well, Chris already sent the truck with the furniture on it, but we didn't have no furniture.
it's on a truck.
And
how did Mom get
kicked us
here?
out, and we went into this house, this apartment, with no clothes, no nothing.
So how did Mom get here? She took a plane?
Yeah, she took a plane.
Okay. So, and how old were the kids at this point? How old was Jerry, David, and Robert?
Well, let's see, 7.
What?
David, how old was Jerry? How old was Jerry when he was 7?
He was 9 years old when we got here.
So that makes David what? 6.
No, he was only 3.
And the baby was only a year,
3 months
3 months old.
So you left Mom back east with a 3-month-old baby.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I was going to call her right away as soon as I got a job. I told her, as soon as I get a job, you're coming.
So it was a couple of weeks she stayed here in Rhode Island
Yeah.
by
I went
herself.
from December to the beginning of, the end of January. I got here at the end of January.
The end of
So I left
January.
for the home
So
December, the
a
home
month.
of January, all by myself.
1 month.
She was home all by herself.
2 months.
The
All
jury's
right.
still out. So then you guys moved in. What city were you guys living in?
Harbor City.
Living in Harbor City.
The apartment that I rented was in Harbor City. And we moved into that. And we stayed, I don't even think we stayed a year.
We stayed 3 months in the Harbor City, then we went
Yeah.
to Lomita.
then we looked around and we found this house in a cul-de-sac,
Flowers, Barbara.
and it was a good price.
Oh, bless you.
And
That.
I went and borrowed more money.
Katrina Berry.
And the guy just gave you money without even asking. He just goes, here's more
He gave
money.
me all the money I wanted.
You liked your face, huh?
Yeah. And Chris and I go there, we needed a few $1,000s, he gave it to us. But as soon as we went to work, we paid it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he knew we were gonna pay it off. So, we moved into there. And what year was that?
What?
When we moved into no, it was the same year.
The year we moved?
Yeah.
To where, the house?
In January of 82, of 62.
We bought the house in the middle of,
We didn't buy that house, the
we
one
moved.
where we met Helen in
Oh, yeah, that was 62,
62.
yeah.
And in the meantime, we were looking for a house. And we're trying to sell the house in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And the man that wanted the real estate, he wanted to sell my house in the worst way, and he wanted me to get nothing. So Chris says, forget it. When I go back to Rhode Island, I'll sell it. And when she went back to Rhode Island, she sold the house. And then in the meantime, we found a house that we want, the one in,
So why did Mom go back to Rhode Island?
her mother was sick.
Her mother was sick.
Yeah.
Look, who's this? Who's
So
that?
she went back to Rhode Island,
Who's that?
and so she took all the kids with her.
Yeah, she took the, no, just the baby,
Just Robert.
just Robert.
So you had
I had Jerry and David, I used to take them to school, and I used to work in the morning as a carpenter, and then I work in
okay. So you worked in the morning as a carpenter.
as a carpenter. We had some, Tom, his name was, I met him,
Oh, there's the baby, see?
I met him through working for
Who's that baby?
Northrop.
the airport, not the airport, where they made planes.
So at Northrop, you met him at Northrop.
Northrop. I met him there, and him and I were doing side work.
Doing some-
Oh, see?
We worked in second shift
See?
at Northrop,
And
and we worked days
Oh,
remodeling.
Daddy.
Okay.
And I bring the car home,
John.
your mother found a job,
Who's that?
and she went to work. She went to work with the car, and then when she came home, I went to work at second shift. And that one car was going back and
Daddy,
forth.
Mommy, in Brooklyn.
Back in that was in 1962, 63,
1962.
62. And then what happened between 62 and 69 when I was born?
Oh, what happened here?
Oh, okay. When we came to California and we moved into the house we were in, and I was working as a carpenter,
Daddy.
I said I didn't have enough schooling. I said, I think I go back to school. So I went back to school. What year was it? Chris, what year did I go back to school?
I don't remember.
Anyway, I even forgot the high school I was in. Banning High. I got pictures of it too. I got my graduation and,
Yeah.
I've never seen those pictures. Just to show me.
huh?
I've never seen those pictures.
Oh, I got
a
a
graduation picture.
I'll have to look at it.
graduation. I graduated in
All absolutely.
flying colors.
All absolutely.
And then in the meantime, Frank
How do you get out?
Marabella?
Marie,
Frank Marabella.
Frank Marabella was working for the CS.
Yeah.
He said, Jerry, I need someone to come in and demonstrate tools. And I was still going to school.
And working 2 jobs.
And working 2 jobs. And at nighttime, I used to work for Sears.
So you're going to school and working 3 jobs now.
Yeah. No, wait, that wasn't work. I was playing. I was cutting little things out of on a table saw and all that kind of stuff. People stand around and I explain what I'm doing. Well, anyway, then I graduated and I got my diploma, and then I felt better. I said I should have gone to school all the way, but I didn't.
Yeah, you had better things to do back in the
Yeah,
in the
well,
20s.
I needed money. You know, I quit because I wanted money.
Yeah, the 1920s it was hard, so
Yeah.
everybody had to work.
Right.
Brooklyn.
So I
No,
graduated.
okay.
I want to show you the pictures after. And,
Yeah, I want to look at them.
Okay.
So you graduated from school, and that was in the 60s sometime before I was born.
Yeah, it was before you were born.
that was before you were.
Yeah, before I was born. And then I came around in 69, right?
Nothing good.
19,
Yes, 1969.
1969, June. I remember I was there.
Okay. I already was. I already graduated.
And were you working just one job as a carpenter by 69?
Yeah, I was working as a foreman.
So you were working for the union at that point.
Yeah, I was working. Now I'm working for the union. I'm glad I did
Because he collects a pension.
because I got a pension by working for the union. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have got a pension. I get a pension.
So you worked for the union for 10 years? I didn't know that.
10 years.
I only remember the office in the house and the office in the
Yeah, I
back.
know because
That was after.
That was
that was
after.
after.
So I was your 4th boy was born in 69, and
You were born in 69.
so you started your own company. When did you start your own company?
1978.
1970, right. I went to a class
Yep.
and I got my contractor license and then I started my business.
So you worked for the union then for how many years? Because
About 10.
about 10, 11 years you worked for the union.
Yeah.
You had to in order to collect a pension.
I was over 10 years.
Yeah.
And you were doing piecework, right?
Well,
More or less, yeah. Most of the times when I go on a job, I become a foreman or I'll build stairways or build this. And Jerry was working with me. I had Jerry working. And then David went to college. And he was just tired of going to school. So he said, "Dad, can I come to work with you?" I said, "Hey." But I said, "Okay, how many weeks do you want to work? 10 weeks you're going to be off. After 10 weeks you're going back to school." So he came to work with me. We worked in, where you live?
Out in
Algora,
Agoura Hills.
Camarillo, Algora, up against the ocean. There's the ocean there. We built houses there. I gave David a chainsaw. And I said, "I'm going to let you hate this business." So we build a drop ceiling. Then he had to cut out the center because we're going to put air conditioning in these. So David's there with a chainsaw cutting. He told me he hated it. And he was going on with Diane.
He was going with Diane at the time.
I think he was married to Diane.
No, not yet. They didn't get married till after college.
After college.
Yeah, they got married after
Yeah, well, he was working with me. Then she came up. He was. I didn't come home. When I was working, I worked there. I leave on a Monday, and I don't get home until Friday
Yeah, because you
night.
drove all the way up to Agoura Hills.
Yeah, I stayed there, and they paid because I was one of the workers. They paid for my room and board.
Yeah,
No.
And then when David came,
Got your belly button.
we slept in the same
Same room.
a motel. It was a motel. What is it, Motel 7?
Yeah, Motel 6.
Not Motel 6.
Yeah, you had per diems, so you stayed up there and you slept in Motel
Yeah.
6.
And he stayed with me, and we worked here and there. And,
I know you built some of the stuff on the pier out in, what pier is that?
Where's your shirt?
You built Old Tony's,
in Redondo
Redondo
Beach.
Beach. Didn't you? What did you build out there?
Well, I worked for different companies.
And what year was that? Because I was alive at that point when you were working out there, I'm pretty sure. So that had to be like 70 something.
Yeah, it had to be in the 70s. 80s,
No, it was the 70s.
in the 70s.
It was early 70s.
Well, it might have been, it had to be the beginning. It was in the 70s.
Early 70s. So you built, what restaurants you built on that pier? I know you built a bunch.
Okay.
You built Old Tony's, right? You told me way back when that you worked on the Old Tony's restaurant.
No, I worked on the, as you go down the pier, way out, and it goes right into the ocean.
Yeah,
I built that building down there.
and that was, yeah.
Yeah. And I was working for a different contractor, and then I was working for another, I worked for so many contractors.
Yep. Until what year did you start your business? You said
78.
1978. What made you do that?
Because I got tired of working for people and not making enough money. And I thought I should have continued working for somebody else because they all gave me trouble. Everybody gave me trouble.
Yeah, working for people's a headache.
Oh, yes.